Everything's super exciting.
This is awesome. I'm skipping the intro video. We talked about it. I'm skipping it. We're not doing it. No intro video today.
I mean, there's a lot
All right, man. We got
in the ecosystem, man. Like the timing is perfect. We're heading into hyperdeflationary. 369 is almost here. Volt is popping off. All the build on TITANX things are doing incredibly well. There's a lot to touch on, man, in this stream.
What do you want to talk about first?
Hyperdeflation.
Should we talk about what's gotten us to here? You want to touch on the subject that we've talked about to ad nauseum? 280. Just one more time.
Oh yeah. I mean, day 280 was insane. So most of the inflation came out day 280, and then we had an inflationary period after day 280. And I think the reason TITANX is hitting so hard as well right now is because during day 280 it was supposed to be doomsday. The most supply ever comes out on a single day. The entire crypto market and world markets nuke at TITANX is 3x. So while the whole world collapses, Ethereum nukes, Bitcoin nukes, everything nukes, we are supposed to nuke because we get the biggest supply inflation ever. We do the complete opposite. That was a big heads up to everybody on what's to come, especially once we hit hyperdeflationary. Because I don't think people understand what hyperdeflationary means and how hard it hits the supply. It's insane. Like, I look at the numbers every day. It's bonkers. We're not talking about like minus 3% a year supply as like other deflationary things. We're talking about minus 30%, minus 50%, minus 70% in a year. Like, it's possible. This is going to get insane.
Yeah. I was kind of looking at the numbers the other day between, I think it's Investalogic. He does the kind of rundowns on possible future supply numbers. And looking at the future supply numbers he had with all the buy and burns doing their magic and all the protocols doing their magic, I just kind of got to thinking with that number. And I was like, okay, 40 trillion, 50 trillion. Okay. What happens if every protocol that comes out in the next couple months snags 2 trillion? We don't have enough, dude. This is insane.
Yeah, so there's only one way for it to go at that point. If units are not enough, it just needs to go. I can't say much, but you know what I mean. We're in space for a reason, you know?
I didn't even notice that you're in space too. Oh my god. Yeah. It's early in the morning, bro. I'm like, you could put something right in front of my eyes and I'm like, okay, good morning. Yeah. I had this whole thing where I was like, I'm gonna ask him this question, I'm gonna ask him this question, I'm gonna ask him this question. I get up, start the morning, and then I'm like, I think we're gonna go early. I don't have any of that headspace ready. All right, we're just gonna go wing it. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Oh, and I'm ready. I got all my nootropics in, nicotine, and also look at my tongue. My tongue is blue.
Oh
that's methylene blue.
Bro, that's going to be a clip right there. You're going to see that so much going forward. Okay, so what do you want to talk about now that we're past this 280 hump? You want to talk about farms first? Do you want to talk about...
So there's a lot happening currently. So everybody obviously knows about Volt. That's going absolutely insane. Like it's almost in the top 10 on Ethereum. It's in the top 10 on CoinMarketCap, or like top 20 at least. It's getting in a lot of TITANX. But I think one of the things that this is a general market theory is when you're getting positioned or when you're getting prepared for stuff, Volt is very unique when all of the supply comes out in 10 days. But do not lose track of all the other build on TITANX stuff. Because usually when everybody's looking one way, it's good to prepare for the other way. So like you can go in Volt, which is, I like Volt a lot. I think Volt is great. But also divert a little bit to the other path. I mean, that chart is insane. Jesus Christ.
The eyes I was making, I was pulling up the chart while you were talking. I hadn't seen it did that.
Me neither. I've been preparing for the stream and I just went, you?
Yeah, I think when I checked, it was like down here at 01. That's wild. That's almost 50% more. Holy shit, 382% in one day. Yeah, I think people are definitely are sleeping on this.
I mean, I don't think they're sleeping on it. I think it's pretty obvious that they're not sleeping on it.
Well, apparently not now.
Distribution. Mm-hmm.
I had someone in my chat yesterday in the stream being like, "Oh, Volt's a big disappointment," and you're like, "They're on day 6 or 7. We're not even started." Like,
you want to know something interesting? One of my best friends texted me, I think, like 3 days ago or whatever, and he was like, "Should I sell my Inferno?" And I was like, "You're a buy signal right now," and I bought Inferno.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yeah, he was like, "You're right," and he also bought more. Yep.
Yeah. Inferno. Let's talk about Inferno, because that's kind of the same thing with Volt, in the sense of you have this capped hyper-deflationary asset going, and then Inferno has more projects launching. I know Alien X, I believe there's another one too. I'm blanking out right now.
The GOAT.
The GOAT. Yeah, what do you think about Inferno?
I think Inferno is pretty cool. So 47% of the supply is burned. Flux has burned over 110 billion. Inferno, which is over 100 grand in the last 12 days alone, because Flux has only just come out. Yeah, I think this is a big lesson for people in the ecosystem, is you kind of want to be positioned everywhere. And when everybody is focused one place, it's a good idea for like the 100% you would allocate towards one thing to take at least 20 or 30% and allocate it to where nobody is paying attention. Because then you can still do the thing you want to do, but force yourself to go the direction no one else is going, because eventually they're going to go there. Because when the tokenomics make sense, when things are hyperdeflationary, it is going to happen. So you want to get positioned before everybody starts paying attention. Otherwise, you end up buying local tops.
Stop telling everyone to do contrarian investing like I do. Yeah, no, yeah, I know, right? I think it's probably one of the things that I love most about this system is how many different avenues you can play and experiment down and see what works for you. And like you said, there's so many avenues that there's going to be something that the masses don't see. And that generally is a really good opportunity. And when there is an opportunity and you see it and then everybody else sees it, it might not be nearly as good of an opportunity anymore. So it's always a moving system and a moving game. And like you said, having a little bit in every little cookie jar is probably a very good idea.
I agree. I mean, because in the ecosystem, almost all the tokenomics are very innovative. And they're all backed by a hyperdeflationary asset, soon to be hyperdeflationary asset, which is TITANX. So I remember Mackenzie on Twitter posted this meme of this guy. His wife threw him something, and then he threw it next to the trash can, but he ended up juggling it back in somehow. That's TITANX.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Yes, I saw that. Yeah, he was like wait, sacking the trash. Yeah.
Yep.
The look was the best, where he's like, did you see that? Yeah. Did you see that? It was the accomplishment of his year. I know. I've felt that before. Well, speaking of Flux, since we're still on it, how about that start? 3.6 trillion. We're on day 12. They've snagged 3.6 trillion. That's like I said, if every protocol grabs 2 or 3 trillion in its first month or two, we're out. we're fucking out.
I mean, come on. I created TITANX, and even I'm like, fuck, I don't have enough TITANX.
When you okay, so here's I think I can ask you this question now. I couldn't have asked you this in the first 6 months, but now that we're here, when you originally created TITANX with the tokenomics and the difficulty of mining, with the cost increase and the increase in the difficulty and the increase in the cost of mining, did you have it in your head that maybe the TITANX bull run was going to be maybe towards the end of 2025, or were you always thinking it was going to be towards the end of the sort of 280, 369, that sort of time frame?
Definitely after 280, because I remember tweeting at the start a lot, like TITANX starts at day 280, and then it officially hardcore starts when we hit hyperdeflation, which, when looking at all the numbers, that might be day 369. Because after day 369, there's not much supply coming out every day. and the protocols might just overpower it. The buy and burn might overpower it. Everything might overpower it. So we don't even need to wait until there's the TITANX to come out because we have a certain burn rate. Like the burn rate on projects alone is already 2x higher than the buy and burns. So the buy and burns are slowly becoming irrelevant. Like literally irrelevant. So think about how bullish that is. That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the point now where between all the buy and burns and all the buy pressure from all the pairing that all these protocols are doing, I believe we're already past the pressure that would be applied from a hypothetical V1 release. So we're literally now at the point where the V1 just doesn't matter. We've surpassed it all. It's just this thing in the background that, you know, maybe you touch in the future and maybe you don't, and no expectations, but we don't need it. And that's fucking wild, because the first 3 months were just people pulling their hair out, trying to geolocate you and like strong arm you into turn up the buy and burn. Like it was all anybody talked about. And now we talk about it as this way of like, look at how great our future is. No one even cares about it in the sense of like, well, when's he going to turn it up? We're beyond that. That's amazing. I think that's the greatest accomplishment so far of this build on TITANX system, is you're not even a year into it, and we, for the most part, don't give a fuck about the buy and burn, the V1 anymore.
Yep. I mean, it is kind of crazy because like most of the what would you call it? Most of the infrastructure stuff still needs to come because we have farms launching. Then we have borrowing and lending. There's probably going to be multiple variations on that. But Ouroboros is also almost launching. That's like infrastructure-wide things, and that makes it a real asset. Like TITANX has gone from a coin with interesting tokenomics to... So TITANX, from what I've noticed, even for me mentally, is you just assume that you need to hold TITANX the same way you have to assume that you have Ethereum. When you buy Ethereum, you're not like, oh yeah, this is my Ethereum position. You're like, I need Ethereum to participate in this stuff. And I feel like TITANX is hitting that point now, where like whenever I participate in projects and I buy TITANX off market, I'm like, I don't even think about the TITANX position. I think about the thing that I'm going into, which as a result, I'm buying TITANX anyway. So it's like, it's becoming Ethereum. It's such a cool thing to see.
I need to give James a shout out in the chat. He got his first, he got the first chat bubble up. So we'll give him a little shout out on Baby Dragon X. I have a feeling we'll talk about that, because Baby Dragon X certainly displayed that liquidity bonding very well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so much interesting stuff going on. I think, the moment hyperdeflation hits, it's only beneficial for everything. Literally everything.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything like this in crypto where you have deflationary built on deflationary built on deflationary?
Yes, I mean, this with tax tokens, but tax tokens are kind of useless because it doesn't bring in. So, like for example, with a tax token, I like Element 280 because it has different things. It's fair launch. It's like an arbitrage thing. It's built on TITANX. But like in general, deflationary usually only happens through taxes on the token. But what you create then is you don't get whale volume, because whales, like for example, if there's a 5% buy and sell tax on the token, the moment you buy your position, you're down 10% instantly. So if you're a whale and you want to build a position of $1 million, you would be down 100 grand instantly from the moment you buy, which is why tax tokens never, ever, ever get volume. So like the model we've designed in TITANX is so much better because we burn and use the liquidity fees for buying and burning the token. So they're still paying the fee, but it's Uniswap V3. It's not a tax, so we get all volume in the world that we could ever want, especially once we scale. And we still get that effect, just not by directly taxing people to do it. And now you have these burn mechanics of built on TITANX protocols burning instead of a tax doing it. So we get all the volume, all the adoption, all the whales, all the everything, all the eyes, without negatively affecting users day one. It's so good. All the users get a beautiful entry and almost everything and build on TITANX.
I never even thought about that in terms of the tax. That's a fantastic point, that you're automatically down the second you enter in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a yeah. I wouldn't want to do that necessarily, but you never know. Tokenomics of something we could see. But yeah, I never really even thought about that. in terms of what that would do in terms of volume and dissuading people from entering in.
Tax tokens never have enough volume. The only high tax token that ever existed was SafeMoon.
Yeah.
If you remember that. There's some
Yes.
OG days.
Yes, definitely. I didn't get into it, but I remember watching it.
Same,
I was like that
was
OG where,
like,
yeah, my first cycle was like watching everything and just not understanding anything and not having the balls to jump in and just being like, I don't. That was all first cycle for me. Didn't help. I still bombed on my second cycle.
Yep.
But the lessons you learn from those cycles, I tell you. Shrey said he front run 280. Lots of people have mentioned that before 280 there was a little bit of a boop. Yeah, I think that was Shrey.
That could be. Who knows?
Appreciate you. Maybe you started everybody flipping on sentiment there. You never know.
I mean, this is like general market maker stuff. So the way you catch an ecosystem off guard is there's a very clear event on the horizon that everybody expects something to happen for. So if you're a whale, you know everybody's sitting on the sidelines and looking. Then this is how market makers manipulate markets. Everybody's sitting on the sideline waiting for this one event, and all you need is one whale for people to FOMO in, because everybody's waiting and everybody has limit orders. So, good job.
Smooth and Crypto's in the house. Oh, by the way, I went past this. You need to see this. You have a admirer there.
It's the beard.
Yeah, it is the beard. I don't have nearly as magnificent beard as you guys. You guys come on with these majestic beards. I'm usually coming on with a homeless beard.
A beard is a beard, man.
I did trim. I'm a little less homeless today, so we're good. I'm trying to get in the chat because I want an active chat today. I want to, if we have any questions that we see that are worth just sort of interrupting for, I want to kind of go ahead and do that. But so far, it looks like everyone's just singing our praises. Everyone loves TITANX. Everyone loves the system. They're super excited. Uptober. Everyone's wowing. Let's see. We got any questions here before we get back into it?
I'll check in the comments. Nah, I think we're fine.
Cryptographics. Awesome. Love you, dude. That guy puts out some solid videos. Probably one of the most prolific TITANX streamers. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. But I feel like he's done almost more videos than probably anybody. We got a lot of streamers in the system, and it's fucking awesome. And
I mean, the cool thing I've seen so many new people pop up. Like in the last few weeks, so many new people.
Yes. Yeah, we got a bunch of new people. And it's awesome to see we have OGs that are just sort of stepping in. Like TEDx is now starting to stream a lot, and that's awesome to see. I love to see all these OGs stepping out. I think I heard maybe Mello might be doxing at some point. Do it. I don't know. It'd be awesome. I think it's really awesome that we have a community that has so many people that are verified and so many people that are doxed. You know, I know when I came from the outside early on and popped on Twitter when it was still Twitter, any ecosystem I tried to get into, even if I was on a Spaces, bro, these are all anon, profile pics. These probably all half bots. I don't trust this shit, bro. More than half of our community is either doxed or verified. That's legit.
It is legit, and I think the reason why that is because this seems like a very trustworthy community if you're a first-time comer. Because you watch a bunch of streams, see a bunch of people talk, it's genuine conversations, nothing is scripted. Like, it's real. I think that's something that's heavily missing in crypto. Another thing that is very unique about TITANX is all the builders supporting each other. Like, I've been in a lot of ecosystems, and I've never seen this happen. It's always extremely, it's like cannibalistic almost. They attack each other, they eat each other alive, they talk shit about each other, etc. Only in this ecosystem, also because of the ethos and the design of everything and everything feeding into each other, everybody's so friendly and they're all working together and they're building together and they're figuring things out on how to make it more symbiotic. It's so awesome to see. I'm proud of the community, man. Like, also no negativity, barely any negativity at all. It's so
whenever it pops up, it gets quashed out very quickly.
Block.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. That's it. The biggest problems I've dealt with, and just 10, 15 back and forths. Never mind. Block. That's it. Done.
Yep.
All that stress is gone now. Don't worry about it. But yeah, what you're saying with the builders, like every single project that's coming out now is contributing to the ecosystem. That's legit. I don't know of any other system where someone builds something and goes, hey, I'm just going to go and build, burn the core system token just for the hell of it. I'm going to go burn one of these other, not partner protocols, but, sort of sister protocols. And I'm going to go burn their token just because it all benefits all of us. That's wild. Like when I did the Morpheus white paper, I was like, they're giving 8% to DragonX and 8% to, or I'm sorry, I might be mixing up the white papers now. Hang on.
I think Morpheus is 20%. Burns 20%.
Morpheus is 20%. I know. I just did this yesterday.
20% DragonX. Yeah, they're doing a similar model to Hydra.
I was about to out a protocol that isn't necessarily public yet. But there is a protocol that I just read the white paper, and it was like, oh, we're going to do 8% to DragonX. We're going to do 8% to Helios. And, on the surface, they're not even connected with Helios or DragonX. And the fact they're just going to go and donate to that vault and donate 16% of all TITANX from that protocol is going to go to other sister protocols to help build them up. Like that's exactly what you're talking about. All these builders are helping prop each other up, prop the system up, prop all of us up. It's legit. I mean, hell, you had the Inferno token drop with absolutely zero dev fees or dev allocation.
Which is crazy, right? ORX is doing something very similar.
Which one?
Ouroboros.
Oh, yes. You want to talk about that one? Because I think that one is a lot of people are super excited about it, but also at the same time are not entirely sure on what they're going to do or how it works. Obviously, we'll let them go through their white paper and sort of introduce themselves, but kind of at a more higher level, you want to kind of talk about what that's all about?
I mean, at its core is borrowing and lending. So, for example, on Ethereum, you have Liquidity. It's not a fork of Liquidity, like it's a new code base, but it's going to publish audits and stuff. But the way Liquidity works, it's very similar. You basically go in with your TITANX, you take a loan, so you don't have to sell your asset down to get liquid. It's essentially similar to taking like a home equity loan. Instead of selling your home on the market, you can take money out of your home, still keep it, have some liquid to make plays with or to pay some life expenses. I think it's 0% interest loan. But it's borrowing and lending. Like borrowing and lending exists on all blue chip assets. Ethereum, you have Liquidity, Aave. There's a bunch of borrowing and lending on Ethereum. TITANX is going to have the same. And Ouroboros has some interesting mechanics with the ORX token, because the way these borrowing and lending things usually work is the token of the protocol.
Sorry, CN. Thank you, buddy. That deserves interrupting, Jake. I'm sorry. No one should interrupt you. I'm sorry, brother. I had to.
That's $30. Yes, it's 250 Hong Kong dollars.
I'm looking at the 250. Don't tell me the real dollars. I don't care if it's $5. That's a coffee. That's a coffee I didn't have before, and I need it. I'm drinking a Red Bull right now. Coffee. Yeah, I'm in California, bro. Let's talk about how expensive shit is. Oh my God, get me out of this state.
Yeah,
that's for a different stream. Okay, I'm sorry. I interrupted you. We were talking about Ouroboros and the borrowing and lending.
You completely sparked me out of thought process.
You knew this was going to happen. You knew this was going to happen. I was going to run you off topic. I was going to interrupt you and step all over your audio. You fucking knew it. Shut up.
Wait, what was the last thing? Can somebody in the comments say?
we were talking about Ouroboros and the borrowing and lending, and then the Hong Kong payment came in, and I derailed you.
Okay. So,
yeah. So the borrowing and lending at the high level or low level.
Yep. So the way liquidity and other borrowing and lending protocols usually work is a token gets given as an incentive to take a loan or go in the stability pool, etc. ORX is trying a different approach where the ORX will be a fee sharing token, so you'll get fees from the platform, but the token does not inflate on itself, which is a very interesting mechanic. And in fact, it will be hyperdeflationary. So you will have a hyperdeflationary loan protocol that gets fee sharing from the protocol. So you basically have a yield-bearing asset that is hyperdeflationary. So much innovation is happening in this ecosystem. Now, whether or not it will work, we'll see. The math should work out. But it's so interesting. There's innovation everywhere. Everywhere. In the whole like TITANX build on TITANX ecosystem. We'll have to see how it plays out. All of this is experiment. Like Vault, never done before. It's an experiment. We'll see how it plays out. So far, people seem to very much like it. Like there's very few examples. Like TITANX, there's nothing that came before it. Nothing that had such a high buy and burn, going hyperinflationary to hyperdeflationary, has this much builder support, is an L1 within L1. Like this whole ecosystem is basically a pioneer. It's bleeding edge. It's as bleeding edge as you can get.
So Ouroboros is going to be a deflationary itself?
Yes.
Wow. That my brain's splitting trying to run ideas and simulations in my head while I'm trying to stay in the conversation with you while looking at the chat. I'm fractured now.
We made more quiet.
That's not easy. Deflationary lending protocol. That's going to be interesting. I'll be honest with you, I haven't ever played with liquidity. I get the idea of it.
I mean, you know, so to show you how important these protocols are, Justin Sun from Tron, for example, he took $1 billion loan on liquidity. $1 billion with a B.
With a B, with a capital B.
Yes.
And so tell me how, I guess obviously everything worked out fine. And
I mean, these guys are well, so they understand macro. So if I remember correctly, he took a loan roughly around the bottom of Ethereum. Or around the bottom zone of Ethereum, so he couldn't get liquidated on his loan. And then did whatever he wanted with it. So these borrowing and lending things they're good. It's a double-edged sword. Same thing. When you buy a fork from the store, you can either use it to eat your food or stab somebody in the eye. So like it goes both ways. Yeah. So some people use these. That. Yeah. So some people use these protocols to do extremely degenerate things, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, because it can be used as a leverage position. Because you can take your collateral and without sending it down, you can get liquid, which you can then feed back into the ecosystem, make a play, pay off your loan. That's degenerate, and you really need to know what you're doing because it's extremely, extremely risky, and you might lose everything. And some people, you play it safe. Like 1,000% collateral ratio. So the price needs to drop basically 90% for them to be liquidated. And then they just do a small leverage with like 5 or 10% of their position. These borrowing and lending things are just, it goes both ways. So you have different types of players using systems like this. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Obviously, it's new code. It's going to be audited, etc. So, give it some time, play around with it. The cool thing about the ORX minter, to get the ORX token, that has nothing to do with the actual lending protocol. Like the smart contracts are disassociated from each other. So if something happens to that one, token is fine. Like it's modular design. So just assume everything. Just do everything cautiously. Make a new wallet. Only interact with that. Do everything you do as like a normal security setup. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. Everything in the ecosystem is so new.
Well, Fernando's not happy because he hates how good the ecosystem is because that means he doesn't have enough for everything.
Me neither. Welcome to the vote.
I was looking at my the miner I guess my miner history, and I did a lot of early compounding to create all the miners that I have now. But when I look at like all the miners that I actually cleared out and then started over, it was like, wait, how much have I want that all back. Like what? I want. Why did I want? I mean, yeah, okay. I got all the TITANX that I ended up selling here and there just for like fees, because I need a little bit of ETH fee. Because I wasn't out of ETH. And you're like, fuck. All right, well, I just a little bit for. Bro, my ETH fees are just destroying me, destroying my soul. 1 million TITANX at a time. I don't have enough. I'm with Fernando. Can we slow this down? Because I need more time to build up for what's coming. And it's coming fast.
I mean, the cool thing about TITANX is it adapts. Like now you're playing with billions of TITANX. In the future, it might be millions of TITANX. Like a 10-gram position that is a couple billion now might be 300 million in the future. So like the units don't actually need to move up. But you can see where this is going. There's only one way everybody has enough TITANX when it comes to dollar value.
Fair enough.
Same thing happened with Ethereum.
That's a good point. God, that's so wild to even think about that. But I mean, we're still at the same point where we were, 6-7 months ago, and there's this math on the wall. And some people could see it, some people can't. But I think somebody said in the chat, the math doesn't care if you see it or not. And,
hell no. Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to Mello for super chat. Appreciate you, sir. Do not sleep on Volt. Also, when, Jake, are you launching Mello X? Well, Mello, you need to talk for that. So
it's so funny. I kind of started this trend now. Whenever somebody talks about TITANX a bunch, I'm like, when are you building your own protocol? It started off as a joke, but now everybody I've told it to is starting their own protocol. So it's kind of like, okay, interesting.
The amount of protocols that have been started by people that in the beginning were just, in spaces and in chats, and now they're all the ones making all these, and yeah, it's fucking wild. And I still get an occasional inbox on when DogX coin. You're not getting a DogX coin. It's not coming. It's not fucking coming.
Maybe MemeFi. You never know, man.
Maybe MemeFi. We'll see. Well, you'll have to get the dog's name first before we do DogX. But we have to do 5 zeros and a 3. That's where we hit for the doggo name.
5 zeros and a 3. How far off is
it? When I said that, it was 10x ago. It's not 10x now. Or maybe
Destiny is catching up to you.
It is. I may have said that thinking, I'm going to be out of here before we hit that. I won't have to give the dog's name. I'm going to have to give the dog's name. I'm going to totally have to give the dog's name. By the end of the year, probably. We'll see.
That's only a 4x.
Yeah.
300%.
I said that over 10x ago. I mean, not ago, but when I said it was over 10x from that point. Yeah. And then at some point, I looked at it when we were at the TITANX high point. It was like, we're 2.5x away. Oh shit, this is almost happening. And then we had a little bit of a pullback, and I was like, okay, cool. I got time to accumulate. My dog's not going to get outed just yet.
We have a community target now. Just saying.
Just saying, guys. If you want that name, 5 zeros and a 3. I'll tell you what, 5 zeros and a 3. Your long-term miners should definitely be profitable by then. Depends on the price of ETH, but I'm pretty sure once we get in that 5-0 territory, at least the 280-day mine. That's the thing too. I hear a lot of people freaking out about like, well, what happens if miners start? Then inflation starts going all over again. Well, yeah, that's not a bad thing. But 2, remember the way the inflation went out was it was on day 1. It was a brand new protocol, and we had a ton of supply. People were doing short-term miners, and so yeah, the supply just ran out super fast. That was the whole point of it. Now we're at this point where
I think I talked about what stream was it that I did before this one? But Crypto Kindness. Like I would recommend watching that one because we went through all the miner numbers and stuff. Cryptographics also just released a video. Like trust me, if we get the exact same dollar value of Ethereum coming in, once we go profitable, it will only inflate the supply at less than 10%. Less than 10% extra supply.
That's wild.
If we get day one adoption all over again. The number,
Because
the
again,
maths, man.
Because again, it's not the day one miners that unlock first. It's the day 280 miners. Because as you watch this on the mining, you know, right now a 280 day TITANX miner isn't profitable, but at some point it will be. But it won't be profitable before the first day one is profitable, or it won't be. That will be one. That'll be the first profitable miner, and then the day 279 will be profitable, and then the day 278, and then 277. Which means it is still, once it becomes profitable, it's still going to take us a long time for that supply to start coming out. And like you said, by the time that does happen, the amount you can get in miners is already so fucking reduced that what was the number? If we get day one adoption, it's only a 10% increase in inflation.
Yeah.
We can handle that. What, you know what, bring up what you were talking about with the Solana inflation. Because that blew my fucking mind when you told me that. When you told everybody that. The chat is just for me. The streams are just for me. I'm the only one that watches for me.
So the thing with Solana, for example, is Solana inflates at $50 million a day. Because it's a high-speed network. So they have to inflate the coin to reward validators, and that happens at a massive rate. And this Solana is a perfect example of tokenomics don't matter if everybody has FOMO.
50 million a day.
It's a lot. Like, and Ethereum inflates it less if you discount the burns. Sometimes Ethereum is deflationary, but like, if you just look at how much Ethereum is getting minted to reward validators to run the network, Ethereum inflates at roughly $6 million a day.
I didn't even know that.
And it goes deflationary. Yeah. That's nothing.
When does Ethereum go? Well, yeah. Because what? It's a percentage of the supply, right? That's.
Oh yeah, it's nothing. Exactly.
Yeah. When does Ethereum go deflationary?
It happens all the time.
Oh, like, so, it goes back and forth?
Once Gwei goes high enough, it goes deflationary. Like, for example, now. Now it's deflationary. Above 10 Gwei-ish, Ethereum is deflationary.
Okay.
Because the transaction fees burn Ethereum.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't think about that. When Alien X? When? Well, I think it's coming soon. I'm getting inbox messages about maybe getting abducted soon.
I mean, there's so much stuff coming, man. I'm excited for the farms and borrowing and lending, because those are going to be two massive ecosystem-wide utilities.
Let's talk about farms. We haven't really talked about that yet. I know you've talked about it ad nauseum. You did an entire stream pretty much talking nothing about farms. So definitely refer to the Crypto Kindness stream on that. It was solid gold. But for anyone who hasn't watched it, touch on it again. How about this? Can you tease us out a little bit of a timeline?
Beginning of October.
It is the beginning of October.
Sorry, yes, sir.
All right. So not the middle of October, the beginning of October. Read between the lines.
Yeah, and the team themselves are going to announce it. Yeah, because they're going to the final audit now. That should come back very, very, very soon. And then you don't have enough TITANX.
Are you going to go just sort of like white paper, bam, release, like within a couple days?
I don't know. I'm not the one building it. I'm just a pretty face.
I still I can't get that straight, and I always say it wrong. So Eric is building farms.
Mm-hmm.
You're building X28?
Yeah.
Okay. But then you guys are both helping each other.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, everything in the ecosystem kind of helps each other. The Titan farms is eco-wide. So everything that has a TITANX pair, has enough volume, SV3 will likely be included in the farms.
Yeah, we talked about that on the Morpheus stream yesterday, that they acknowledge that there's going to be a bit of a competition to get into the farms.
Yeah, because it all depends on volume. Like this is the whole like ethos of the ecosystem with meritocracy. Like you need to be worthwhile getting on the farm, so you need to follow the ethos. You have to have enough adoption. It's also like it's hard to start something and then not be proud of what you started. So you need to talk about your thing a lot, so volume goes up, and then once you have enough volume, you can get included in the farm. Meritocracy, baby. Connections don't matter.
I love it. Mike wants to know if you want to stream with him tomorrow on farms because Eric is sick apparently. I think Eric has got pneumonia.
Yeah. When was Eric's last stream?
Do
you remember?
I don't remember. I saw he streamed after he did the Hydra release, but I can't remember who.
Oh yeah, that's not that long ago. That's like a week and a half ish.
That's forever.
Hope he gets better soon. So he should talk about his stuff.
You're passing on it. You're like, no, that's his. He can do it. He'll get better.
I might do
Take
it.
some Robitussin. Come on. Take some Tussin, take some Advil. Let's fucking go. Put your game face on, Eric. I'm just kidding. Get better, brother. That's pneumonia is no joke. People die over that. Get better. Don't fuck around.
I'm so good. I'm so disconnected. What is pneumonia?
Pneumonia is when you get fluid in the lungs and it fills up your lobes. It gets real hard. Real hard to breathe. You basically, if it gets too bad, you basically drown in your own lungs.
Doesn't sound so good.
Who came to this stream to hear about pneumonia and how to die on pneumonia? Jesus Christ! Every stream, I'm gonna go off rails. Oh, let's talk about bilateral pneumonia. Oh my Lord. Okay, so farms is going to be a competition, and obviously it doesn't make sense to do a farm pair on an insanely low volume token. Do you have an idea on a number that you want, just that you guys want to start with for farms, or
probably
just sort of?
Let's see. I think TITANX Hub shows volume now.
Shut up.
Yep, volume. Here you go. Probably above 50k ish. Because if you're gonna give Think to a farm, because Think thrives off the buy and burns, you only want to add farms that have high volume, because otherwise it becomes a negative flywheel. Like above 50k, 100k ish, community adoption needs to be big, and then it makes sense.
Well, with those numbers, I mean, right now, you're gonna pull like 15 pairs in that damn farms. Obviously, things will change, and we'll see how it all levels out. But yeah, like, do you have an idea? Like, are you going to start with the core 4? Are you going to start with the core 4 plus a couple more? Are you going to build your way out?
It's definitely starting with the core 4 because they're all going to be input tokens. Yeah, Eric will share more about this, but I think he already announced on his Twitter what the first pairs are, because they're the ones setting it up, like the actual code and stuff. We just talked about tokenomics and the design of all of it. The game theory, baby. That's the best part.
I got 2 super chats I didn't notice. All right. Do not tell me what the conversion is on that, because I'm going to say in my head that he just gave me $2.5 million. So
you're a multimillionaire now, baby.
James. Apparently, I just needed to stream, and that was it. This stream, I'm done, guys. Boop, end stream. I'm out. Oh, that was $10. Damn it! All right, I'm back on. What's up, guys?
I don't even know that. What is that symbol? I've never seen that.
I don't know. I assume it's maybe the Vietnamese currency, or I don't know. James, what is
whatever
that?
It is, it's whatever it is. It's hyperinflated.
No, it isn't. Shut up. Oh man! And then I think I got another one in here. I can't click on it. There is so much in the chat, you guys. I apologize. I'm not.
Oh no way. So I just looked it up. So 2.5 million. If it's Vietnamese, you know, it's called the Vietnamese dong.
No.
Yep.
I just got 2.5 million dongs.
Yes. Hey, but it's $100. You know,
$2.5 billion.
That's $100 worth of dongs, man. Come on, that's good stuff.
Hey, who says no to $100 worth of dongs? Not this fucking guy. Oh, there's going to be a couple clips out of this one. Jesus. Bad Sports, thank you, sir. Flux, Alien X, Goat X, X369. What is X369? Is he just referring to the day 369? Why did he put an X in front of that? What does that mean, Jake?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Damn. Trying to get it out of you. X39. X369. Interesting. Buy and burn 2.0. Accelerate. All right. Now you got me interested. X369. Way to derail me.
They're innovating on the buy and burn. That's buy and burp.
This entire ecosystem is innovating. I mean, everything.
That was a joke, by the way.
I feel like
it's just a typo.
Say it again.
It's just a typo.
It's just a typo.
You're like, innovation.
No, it's not a typo. Now you know what the next name is.
Buy and burp. Bring it on.
I don't believe I said I have enough dongs. I could always use more dongs.
Oh, this is exactly what I expected. I love
it. Well, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for, sir. Oh my lord! All right, here's a little bit of semblance of order. X28. Tell me about X28. I won't fucking interrupt you. I swear. Oh, I don't know about that.
So X28 will essentially take TITANX Omni-chain. So people will be able to enter an auction to get X28. X28 will trade on all the major EVM chains, potentially even Solana. So I need to check that. But it will essentially take TITANX Omni-chain, and then builders will be able to build on any chain they want. And as long as they use X28 with the same ethos as they do TITANX, anything that happens to X28 by default happens to TITANX. Because the only way X28 gets created is on Ethereum. All the supply of X28 is created on Ethereum using TITANX. And then the X28 just exists on all the chains. So this is going to create some very interesting liquidity pool dynamics as well. Because if you have, for example, 100 million supply created on Ethereum, and there's 10 chains that both have 5 million of supply, now half the supply is locked up across 10 chains. Most of the trading volume will likely still happen on Ethereum, but there's a lot of game theory that unlocks for going omni-chain. But builders will be able to go wherever they want, and they can even build a layer 0 enabled tokens, so their tokens can also trade omni-chain on X28. But that they will have to code that in. But there's a lot there. We'll have a lot of talk about X28 when the time comes. But that's like the kill shot. So I'm timing that one very carefully.
Okay, so I'm not going to suss out anything from you other than I think you already said on the big stream that we did by end of year. Is that all you're going to give us?
Yep.
The way you looked up, you're like, shit, did I say that? Did I tell him end of year? Damn it.
Whatever timing is best, that's what we're doing.
Okay, yep. So we're gonna toss out the last one, and we're just gonna insert whenever is best.
Yep. You always need something in your back pocket, you know. A whale tries to play funny games, whack, back and play.
That's a good point. It's a very good point. We have started something now. Someone wants a Dong X coin. Shrey wants a Dong X coin. And then Fernando wants to know, can you make it with 999 quintillion, but then make it go ahead and deflationary?
Or just make it one. Just one Dong. There's one Dong for everybody. I have a girlfriend, by the way, just to make it clear.
I started this and I can't even keep up. Oh my god. Hey, Mello, shout out to you. Mo and Jake, what's your thoughts on Volt's liquidity? I had to be schooled on what they did. Yeah. He did a genius liquidity play to start, right?
I mean, Steve is smart, man. Like Steve was one of the first people in the mastermind, so I've talked to Steve a lot, like over the years. Steve is smart. Like when you look at Steve on a stream, he seems like a go-lucky, just kind of a naive dude. He's good vibes, but behind those good vibes is actually he's fucking smart. Like I like Steve a lot. He's smart. Like he understands liquidity pools very deeply. He understands liquidity very deeply. He understands like these pairings and tokenomics very deeply. Because I brainstormed a lot of like with the building of TITANX, I used the mastermind as a sounding board. So every time I would come with new innovations, and then I would sound it off the mastermind, and there were usually 2 to 5 people that came up like, oh, what if you do it this way? What if you do it this way? And Steve was one of those people. So like the mastermind actually became a mastermind. Like it's just a bunch of smart people in a room together trying to figure out the best way to do something. So Steve helped with the buy and burn, like the actual timings and the intervals of the buy and burn. And most of it was just a team effort. Like TITANX was a team effort, like getting the tokenomics dialed in. I did like 80, 90% of the work, but then like the actual tweaking at the end, which gets all the end results, was just a bunch of feedback. And Steve was one of those dudes that was really thinking together with me. It was nice. Steve's
he's one of those dudes. When you watch him talk, you can kind of see he'll kind of get out an answer, and then he'll kind of pause, and you can see him thinking. And when that dude is thinking in a pause, like some people kind of like look up and like it's like I don't know, like you're like they're trying to find something in their head. That's usually me, like I don't what the fuck am I supposed to say? I need to what's the word? That
Dongs.
dude is like he's dongs. Dong, just say dong. When you can't say anything, just say dong. Steve like takes a moment and pauses, and I swear to God, there's pages flipping in that guy's head of material, like just straight thumbing through pages. And he's like, I could talk about this section. Now, hang on. Let me review this section for them and tell them. Yeah, that dude's got an insane amount of information in his head. Definitely a smart dude, just by watching that guy interact and talk. And it's been awesome to watch him stream because he's starting to turn into a real solid streamer.
Yeah, I mean that's been amazing to see in the community is the amount of streamers that just pop up. There's another streamer like Callum. He just started his channel, but he looks natural on stream. Like streaming is not as hard as people think it is, and it's by far the quickest way to learn.
That was me. Sorry.
Professional intermission.
Yeah, that's my alarm clock. Actually, that was my hey, you get on with Jake in half an hour. Don't forget. Oh yeah, I'm already on. Thanks, smartphone. Yeah, Callum. I saw Callum the other day. That was awesome. And seeing just the progression of some of these streamers. Ted's first stream to now, he's already picked it up quite quickly. Steve was kind of like a little bit of a nervous ball his first couple times. Now he literally looks like he's been doing this forever. And I heard him say at some point, he was like, yeah, maybe I can just stop building and then go to streaming full time. I was like, look at this guy. He's like full on streamer now. I love it.
Yep. You kind of need to become, especially if you're a builder. Like one of the hardest working people in this ecosystem is also Josh. Josh from Blaze, Bad Sports. Yes. He's on streams all the time, marketing all the time. Like he's following the rule of 100 to a T. That guy's a workhorse. Like we have so many amazing builders in this ecosystem, man. It's so nice to see.
Yeah, Josh set the bar for builders promoting their own stuff and getting the word out.
I mean, the crazy thing is, I remember seeing a stream from Bad Sports, and he was literally falling asleep on stream. It was like his 5th stream in the day.
Yes.
Oh, and I was like, respect, but goddamn, get some sleep. Jesus Christ. Oh, like workhorse.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he had to tag team out of that one, and Steve and I ended up finishing it for him. Because he was just like and then he came off and came back on. He's like, what's going on? I don't fuck this shit. And he just like wandered off. Yeah. It was amazing. We're having these hilarious moments between that and Marco with his wife walking across the street, the floor. Did you see that one?
Oh, yeah, I showed it to my girlfriend. She's like, oh no.
Like, I can see you. Like, what? Just walk.
I was waiting for a meme. Somebody to put like the Mission Impossible team over it.
There you go, guys. We've dropped the ball. We haven't made that meme yet. Oh man. Okay. X28 though. I derail you always. This is every stream with me is going to be like, oh, I want to talk about this. Well, you will for 10 minutes, and I'm going to derail you for 50. But back to X28 just for a second. So TITANX will exist on all chains, but that all comes from Ethereum. So are we foreseeing this world where build on TITANX goes multi-chain?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I'll probably, because there's two ways to do it. So X28, so there's a difference between Omni-chain and multi-chain. Omni-chain is one token gets created on one chain and trades on all chains. So there's no dilution effect. It's the opposite. Then you have multi-chain, and that's a token that exists on all chains. Like, for example, another Omni-chain token is PancakeSwap. They also have a token that trades on all chains. There's two ways to build on X28. Either you launch a protocol multi-chain on each chain, hoping you get different community adoptions, and then the market is going to figure it out. You might have your protocol be 30 million market cap on one chain, 2 million on the other, like 500K on the other, and they all kind of just deviate from each other depending on adoption on the specific chain. That would be the multi-chain approach. There's also an omni-chain approach where you launch a protocol on Ethereum on top of X28 and then use the same layer 0 code. So your token trades omni-chain as well, and then you just pair it with X28 on all chains. So you can take the X28 route to build on X28 and make it omni-chain, or you can go down the multi-chain route, which is something the market and the builders will figure out on themselves. But it's going to be very interesting to see, because that opens up the whole, basically, renaissance of build on TITANX. Because we'll have all the users, all the adoption, all the marketing, all the streamers, all the content, everything that a builder would want to have. And then they can just go to the chain they like most and build on X28 there and get community adoption.
But all the TITANX has to come from Ethereum.
Yep.
Do you wake up in the middle of the night and just be like, man, this is awesome?
Yes. 100%.
And then do you still wake up where you're like, oh, what about this? I want to try this now. Like I heard you talking in the last stream. You're like, well, maybe after X28, you need to make your first hyper deflationary or capped deflationary token. Have you already started thinking about that?
Yes, I have. So I don't want to compete with the other builders because I want to stay neutral and agnostic because we want as much builder adoption as possible, which is why I never really side with one builder. I side with all of them, as long as they follow the ethos. So I was thinking about building a hyperdeflationary token.
Sorry.
I was thinking about building a hyperdeflationary token that would be backed by other hyperdeflationary stuff in the ecosystem. So it would be DragonX, Inferno, Volt, and potentially other stuff. It depends on what pops up at the time. And then I would do some special routing and some special tokenomics around it. I'm still working that stuff out. But it might be, could even go crazier. You could do a hyperdeflationary token that also trades Omni-chain. Like there's a lot I'm thinking about on like how to take it to the next level. But it will support all the existing hyperdeflationary tokens in the ecosystem because you want the backend to be as solid as possible. And obviously we'll have a TITANX pairing.
That's how you're going to give me?
Yes, because I'm still building it out. Like it's not set in stone yet.
Okay. I got you. Well, I would imagine that you're doing what everybody else in this build on TITANX system is doing, which is the way TITANX started in the first place, which is I'm going to find the best pieces from all these little different ideas, and I'm going to combine them all into one amazing protocol. I would imagine that's what you're doing now. We're sussing out all the things that have been experimented on within build on TITANX. You're like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, let's go ahead and incorporate that now.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm also learning from all the builders.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, but I want to say the scenario where people don't have to sell down their thing to get in my thing. So I'm trying to figure that out.
Next evolution. How do I sell without the price actually moving down? Magic. All right, that's awesome. So X28, when it's When the time is due, that's when it will be released. Maybe that's at the end of the year. Maybe it's a little bit past. We'll see. Farms, though, is, you won't say it, but I'll say it, any day now. And we shall see what Eric wants to do with that. How about, I guess, well, okay, we got two more things we can talk about. You want to do a little review on Hydra for the last couple weeks here?
Hydra has just been quietly killing it in the background. It's so good.
What's the Hydra best stats page to pull up?
Oh, premium TITANX hub. So in total, Hydra had, I think it's close to 19 trillion now. I'm pulling up the dashboard.
I'm doing it too.
Yeah, 19.71 trillion TITANX has been pulled into Hydra. 2,200 users, and it's only day 17.
One more time? How much?
Basically 20 trillion. 20 trillion TITANX.
20 trillion TITANX.
In 17 days. I know.
What? What? Bro.
Crazy, right?
Bro, yep. That just threw up a big block on my brain. Just nothing else matters. 20 trillion in fucking 16 days. Holy shnikes. Yeah, I would say that's a successful launch.
I mean, it's the biggest launch. It's bigger than DragonX.
Yeah. Yeah, let's let me not bring that up. Let me pull up the buy and burn stats here.
Almost 11 trillion buy and burn.
Bro! Good Lord. That was in the 7s yesterday. We're already at almost 8.2. And the Hydra buy and burn's working. And then the Vortex, you're already almost at 1.5 million on the TITANX Vortex balance. Got another 368,000 in the Dragon. Looking tasty.
That's pretty decent adoption, you know?
Yeah, decent adoption would be a way to describe that. That was decent. Decent adoption.
I mean, Hydra is working beautifully. Even the short miners, like between day 8 and 30, they're selling and compounding. Like the system is working like it should. It's backed by TITANX, DragonX. There is stuff building on Hydra, and Hydra is going to get VIP treatment in Titan farms, so people will be able to do something with it.
What does that mean? Can I get a little bit more out of you for that? Because I've heard you say that a couple times, and sometimes people are not good at reading in between the lines.
So VIP treatment on farms essentially made. So when Think Emission comes out, which is a farming reward token that has a buy and burn. Is there anything that doesn't have a buy and burn? So like even our farms token has a buy and burn. That is from external revenue source, which is liquidity fees. So that token, every pair in the farm gets a certain weighting, and the weighting determines how many tokens come out in that specific farming pair. Hydra is going to get one of the highest weightings because it's one of the biggest leverage points on the entire ecosystem. Because it burns TITANX, burns DragonX, feeds everything, locks it up for a period of time. Hydra is a massive like Archimedes lever on the ecosystem, so it's going to get probably the highest weighted pool. So they should get the most farming rewards, which creates the liquidity ticker, which maintains mining ROI better, so people can compound. As they compound, TITANX goes hyperinflationary, DragonX goes hyperinflationary. Like it's such a cool system. And farms is close, so people are going to see the APR on farms.
That's awesome. I'm excited because I have heavily been in PulseX farms off and on through the years. So I'm super excited about that.
It's better. Everything's better.
I heard you talk about a little bit of the stuff on Crypto Kindness' stream and how it's different. You want to talk about that a little bit more?
Well, it's better. It's 10 times better. So the think token has a buy and burn. The liquidity fees feed it. If we get stable volume similar to how we had in last month, the buy and burn pressure on the farming token should be bigger than all the supply that comes out in the first year. So that's a lot. So the buy and burn volume should be bigger than whatever tokens come out in the first year based on the initial price and liquidity pool, which is insane. Like, I don't think we've ever seen this before. Like, there's so much innovation happening in this ecosystem. There's not a single thing we don't just do better and more fair and better for the people. Like, I'm so proud of fucking like TITANX and build on TITANX, man. Seriously. So like people are going to be surprised because usually a farm token it comes out, it dumps, and it just dumps forever. In essence, unless it's a reason to buy it. Well, here you have the buy and burn, which is going to have insane volume on the farming pair, which also pushes up the farming ROI, which drags more liquidity into it, which increases the liquidity fields, which feeds the farming ROI, which locks up TITANX, which locks up all the ecosystem tokens, and then you get this massive, insane positive flywheel.
Question, and this may be based out of me being dumber than I want to admit, but if farms is successful and you get a bunch of people into that, will that pull liquidity from the market and shove it into farms?
Well, that's liquidity on the market. So farms is still on the market. So this will do a lot of things. So one, you'll get more liquidity across all the pairs in the TITANX ecosystem, which should increase volume because it allows bigger players to move around. And it locks up the tokens in the farms because when people are earning nice APR on the token they want to hold anyway, and it's full range V3, so like impermanent loss is minimum on full range. Like it has to move insane for you to have like massive impermanent loss. It's not like a tight V3 position, so it's forced full range. This is going to do a couple things to the ecosystem. One is when you take concentrated liquidity on V3 and you force it to go full range because of the massive incentives that the farm has, the price moves way better. So you have thicker liquidity across all ticks, which is basically just liquidity per price level. That allows the price to move way more. So you can imagine what happens when we get Titan farms. You get all the supply locked up in Titan farms. You distribute the liquidity evenly. You get thicker liquidity evenly distributed amongst full range. Makes the price way easier to move. It will do a lot. Obviously, not financial advice, could nuke to zero. All of this could explode tomorrow. But like it's sick. There's a lot of game theory when it comes to farms. And I think big liquidity players understand. They're like, ah shit, this is big.
Shrey, I need some TITANX. I want to be a big liquidity player. I want to do this. Help me out, brother. Come on. All right. Well, hey, I tell you what, Shrey, maybe that's a video you could make. You could make your first streaming video for us, talking about your experience entering farms. I'm just saying. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for our first farms videos to come out and people start making those. Man, there's so much. Oh, it's kind of hard. I feel like we get this giant spinning globe and you're like, where do you want to go? And you're like, there, no, there, no, there. Like, there's too many things. There's so much to get excited about. Like, I keep getting excited about the just the content creators and where it's going to go, you know, where we started and that the sort of this small handful, you know, me in my fucking car with my dog, those terrible ass videos where I started.
I still remember them.
You know, I'm gonna have to do a throwback one at some point. We're gonna go for a walk and do another one of those videos. But you know, I love seeing all the people where they're starting, where they are now. You know, like I was talking about Steve earlier. Steve's now turning into like, you'd think the guy's been streaming for a year, not, you know, a month or two. It's awesome. I can't wait to see where it's going to go. You know, Angels and Demons is probably one of the best designers in our entire system. The stuff that he comes up with, it's just ridiculous. I can't wait to see who we're going to have in a couple more months. You know, like you're talking about, Caleb is now streaming, just brand new streamer. Yeah, who's it going to be next month? You know, who's gonna make the first really sick video? Like I remember I made that really kind of cheaply tossed together video with like all the logos and stuff and made a little hype video. But who's gonna make the next like sick hype video? You know, we got a couple guys that do a couple hype videos.
Young Stunner.
Yes,
he makes cool AI videos.
He makes
funny as well.
Awesome ones. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I want to see where that's going. Let alone where all these projects are going. I mean, let's get to the prediction. How many projects do you think there will be by the 2-year anniversary? I know that's not an easy one.
At least above 35.
Whoa! Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Could even be higher than that, because like even now we have that follow the ethos. Let's see. 10 live that the community supports. And these have only recently started building. In the first 3 months of TITANX, there wasn't really no building. Everybody was still kind of preparing, thinking, etc., seeing how everything goes. So there's only been builders for really 6 months. So it might even be higher. It could be like 53 plus. Why not?
So when TITANX decks?
That's a good question. I know
because we're
I've heard through the
turning into a
grapevine.
deck screen. Like, oh shit! Did you just say
it's not confirmed yet, though? It's not confirmed yet, but I know people that have.
Nothing's confirmed until it's confirmed. Yeah, sure. But you just said it. I'm holding you to it. Someone has to do it.
Yep.
Everyone keeps commenting, by the way, that you are now required to stream 24 hours a day because it's pointed out that it pumps all the time when you stream.
Oh, that's Volt. It's not me.
Oh, that's people buying into Volt? Sure. Yeah, don't take the credit.
That's people.
It's still you.
Yeah.
It always happens.
Yeah, exactly. It's people buying TITANX.
Stream. That's a lot of fucking TITANX to be bought to get into Volt. I don't know if it's that much. I think some of it is you, my friend. Take your credit.
Oh, no, easy. Too. It's Volt.
This fucking guy. All right,
I mean,
I tried.
We're talking about dongs here. You know?
Well, did you see? Zybar was already like, "Hey, ping me, Titan Dong. We're gonna get on it." So you never know. We may have between Hail Hydra and Dong. Now you're like, God damn it, Mo, this fucking guy. Tink, an incentive token that burns itself. Shrey's already losing his mind on that. Yeah, that broke my brain when you told me that. I'm gonna watch the replay and just watch my brain breaking.
I mean, it's pretty decent. Pretty cool. It's pretty innovative, decent. You know.
Yeah, decent.
Just the best thing ever, like everything on TITANX.
The decent Hydra adoption. Got a couple people in. A little bit.
Couple hours of work, you know.
Yeah, right. You're like, it was just an afterthought. We just put something together. Yeah, no big deal.
On a side note, Helios is pumping. I just opened that TITANX hub. Helios is up 65% on the day.
All right.
You never know what to expect, man. Jesus Christ.
Helios. Whoa. Hello. I'm Helios.
You know what you say when you look at that chart? You just say, dude.
Dude. Sweet. Dude.
That's hella gnarly,
that's
dude.
Amazing. Oh my God, that's amazing. If people aren't making clips out of these moments, like there's at least 3 or 4 now on this stream you can be doing. All right. What about this mythical phase 8 that I keep hearing about? What is phase 8? You skipping phases?
Okay. Yeah, so we're skipping phase. The phase with the number that rhymes with 4. Because it's a bad number in Chinese numerology and it has a lot of bad connotations to it. So I'm doing a stream at Crypto Awesome because we rescheduled the Awesome X launch date. I'm not building it, But I noticed the launch date was way off because like they implement a bunch of numerology in the protocol itself, but then the launch date is the worst possible launch they could ever have. So they're replacing it. They're launching it in a week, which is way better. Like the numerology is way better. To do it on that date. Yeah. So we skipped that, and then we have a bunch of phases. But then phase 8, what phase 8 is? Over time, once you become a competent builder, you just start getting pissed off at the rest of crypto. Because you go from like this helpless bystander to becoming highly competent, and you can actually impact change, and you know how to do it, and you have a big community, and you have a bunch of builders, and you have a bunch of support, and you have a bunch of capital. So what we might do, this is still an idea, because if we do it, it needs to be massively innovative, like anything we do. We might build our own TITANX L1 or L2 on Ethereum, but it will be sick tokenomics. So like it's all just a very in the air ideas. But why not? First we dominate Ethereum, we create the best protocols on Ethereum, then we dominate all the chains, and then we're just like, hey, why not go here? We're just doing everything better. We might as well do this thing better as well, you know?
Yeah, you got
So
a natural
we'll have to
progression
see.
you're flowing out there.
Yeah. Yeah. But there needs to be like something where you're like, oh fuck yeah, that's it. I'm still looking for that. I have some ideas.
You just
Obviously
need the foundation.
hyperinflationary, obviously rewarding builders, obviously, etc. But I need that like one where it's like, holy shit, this is 10 times better moment. So once we have that, it might become more real. Because if it's 2 times better, nobody gives a fuck. If it's 3 times better, nobody cares. If it's 10 times better, everybody cares. So we need that 10 times better innovation.
Okay, well, that's not hard, right?
Maybe.
I mean, you came up with Hydra. It was just an afterthought, so I'm sure you can do this. Just a couple days. Maybe a long sauna session. You know, like, I got it. We're gold. Hey, Helios is in the chat. Nice chart, Helios. Nice chart indeed. Dude! I just blasted your earphones out. I know. Sorry. I have no volume control. This fucking microphone is just a suggestion. I just scream into it. Okay. When TITANX in privacy coin?
From
yeah.
It's a legal gray area.
You just made the same noise that I did. Yeah, that's dicey 101 right there. Yeah. Talk about that when better administrations come around, maybe. Not anytime soon.
Exactly.
Yeah. TITANX, L1, DEX, Launchpad, DeFi farms, lending, AAA gaming, AI, philanthropy, change society. Yeah, that's it. Let's go.
Casual Tuesday, you know? Let's do it.
That's the yeah. What'd you do with your spring break? You know.
Oh, you know, just save the world. Usual.
Do you have any updates on Jack Levin? He seemed to kind of take a little interest and peek around the edges and
I mean, Jack is a cool dude. I've always liked Jack. I just never liked the tokenomics of the stuff he builds. But Jack as a person is really smart, good background, great builder. Just the tokenomics part is like 50-50. But like X1 is interesting. Like I think X1 is going to be an interesting chain. So I'll support it. Like I'm a fan when it comes to like X1. If he makes a completely community owned, that's something completely new in crypto. It's never been done before. So that's a cool idea. Because Jack is, I mean, we can tout like fair. Jack was the first big proponent, like a big person standing behind the idea of fair crypto.
yeah.
So all power to him, man. Respect for doing that. Just with better tokenomics. And so like TITANX is like fair crypto innovation. And he hasn't been like negative. He's been very supportive. Even like when we talked in DMs and stuff, he was always very supportive. I like him. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that.
Awesome. Is there obviously you can't discuss too much, but maybe are there talks ongoing Just maybe light discussions, pontificating.
No, nope. But hopefully X1 supports layer 0, because then X28 can trade there.
Okay.
And then we'll see from there. It depends on adoption. Like at the end of the day, it's meritocracy. Like I don't care about relationships of friends or I know of somebody. It's like deliver the results and then we pay attention. Meritocracy at its finest. So like if it gets a bunch of adoption, bunch of volume, etc., for a long period of time, then it's just a competitive chain. So that's meritocracy at its finest. Like whether or not I like somebody, I could give less of a fuck about. Like as long as somebody gives results and delivers to the community and keeps their promises, that's somebody to support.
My internet just...
Wait, did I lag or did you follow? Okay.
Decided to take a dump on us. Are you there?
Yep.
I think that's me. So hopefully they heard everything you said, because I'm seeing on my end it's jacking up on me. Fucker. Elon is saying there's too much alpha going on. We got 1,279 people watching. That is an absolute record for me. That's legit. So thank you, sir, for coming on. Are you streaming this on your side also? I think I had the option
yes,
for you.
I am.
You did. Okay, good.
Oh yeah, that's big. Everybody should do that. Every time you on StreamYard, just enable the option so anybody can stream, and then you just have a bunch of streams going. It's so good.
Perfect. Stream to X if you can. Always when you're streaming, get it all. Every single eyeball counts, because you never know when one of those eyeballs is a whale.
Oh, and a lot of them are. Yep.
For sure. Especially, I remember having early DMs and, in the early period, I mean, I can't even imagine on your end, but, on my end, just by talking about a lot and making videos, I'll get, back then I was getting, 10 DMs a day on, hey, well, what about this? What about this? Let's try this. Think about this. I actually, let me just sidetrack and go to that. What are your DMs like? Because I've always legitimately wondered that. Is it just nonstop? Just like, do you just skim? Is that what you're doing basically?
So the way I've always done it is I just ignore everything until somebody tells me to look. Because you always have to assume somebody is going to scam you, or it's some kind of social engineering hack to get the founder to leak some shit, etc. So I just talk to nobody unless somebody I know is like, hey, he DM'd you. Then I'll look at that DM. But like in general, I just ignore everything. Yeah,
how many
it gets way too
notifications
distracting.
do you get?
0. I have 0 notifications on my phone. Even when people call me, I don't get a notification.
Oh, you do that too? Okay, I'm totally. By the way, I do that too, and every now and then there's someone in the system who tries to get a hold of me, and I'm like, oh, bro, my phone. I don't let my phone cut into my day. I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll get to it. I'm on my phone enough. I'll definitely get to it. But I meant like in the sense of like when you hop on X, do you have like just like 1,000 fucking notifications, like in terms of like,
Yeah.
oh, you have 500 comments, 500 reposts, 200 DMs. Like I get messages from people who be like, hey, I said this to Jake, and I'm like, yeah, so did 10,000 other people, man. I just keep at it.
Yeah,
We'll see it eventually.
Since the beginning, I've always tried to follow this idea because I was big on the Telegram in the beginning. Of like, I would prefer all conversations to be public conversations on Twitter. So there's no shadow figures, there's no weird, wacky shit happening in the background. I want all of it to be public conversation. So if it's a conversation that can happen in public, there needs to be a very specific reason. Like, for example, if a builder is like figuring out game theory, that's like, okay, that can be private. That's fine. But like, I don't know. Why does a conversation need to be private? I've never understood that. Just public, build trust, It builds trust for everybody. It also builds trust for that dude.
Plus, half the time, it's a question that if it's answered in public will help somebody else learn.
Yep.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I don't think any of us are against one-on-one teaching, but with the amount of people in this system, it's a tremendous waste of time and resources to go one-on-one when we could potentially teach everybody that same question that you're asking. I think that's why most of us just ask it in the chat. We'll definitely get it. Okay. I've definitely always wondered that, because some days, like I get days where I'm like, I didn't I didn't see half of those posts until like 2 days later, even things I'm tagged in. So I'm like, I can't even imagine what you're like.
I mean, I check a lot. Like, I'm on Twitter basically all day. Because I also get, I almost get all of my ideas just from other people. Just because you read a tweet and then kind of triggers something in your brain and it gets something back from like 2 years ago and you're like, holy shit, I forgot about that. And then your brain starts turning. So I'm always on Twitter. Because like once you've built something, the only thing you need to do is market. That's your only job. Not sit in the corner and jerk off. Just market. That's the job. You know?
Well, you got to do that a couple times a day. I don't know. I mean, but not all day.
I mean, I have a girlfriend, luckily, you know? Helps.
There's a lot of jokes about that too. All right, where do you want to go? Because I've kind of led this whole thing and steered you around and then derailed you plenty of times. What do you want to talk about? And I will mute my mic.
I mean, we pretty much talked about everything. Is there anything? It's just day 369 is a big day coming up, man. Because that's likely the date when we go hyperdeflationary. Like, that's something that people will look back on 2 years ago and like, oh shit, remember the days, you know? The good old days, nostalgia. Day 369. That's a big day. So 369 coming up, going hyperdeflationary, X28, farms, borrowing and lending. Like, we're going from baby stage to like teenage puberty stage. We're still so young. We're barely even a year old. The amount of builders, like, this is interesting. Every time I look at the user adoption, like number of holders increasing. So we're currently at, let's see how many users on TITANX. So TITANX, it takes a while to load on premium. I can look on Etherscan. Yeah, TITANX has 16,263 users now. That's almost 500 more than a week and a half ago. So my question is, out of those 500 people, what percentage of those are builders? Because by default, a certain percentage of the population is a builder.
I see where you're going with that.
Exactly. So we might be onboarding for every.
Do you want to revise that number on devs or on projects by the end of next year? Only 35?
Maybe. I mean, it is a flywheel, you know, because the more users you have, the more attention you attract. The more attention you attract, the more builders want to build. When builders build, you attract more users. It's the users that attract the builders, not me, not the founder, not all of that stuff. The builders are interested in the users and community support. Usually, almost all crypto projects fail because they fail to build a community. So if you build on TITANX and you follow the ethos and you get community support, you're automatically in the top 5% of projects in crypto. So I just wonder, out of every 200 new holders that we have, let's say it's like double wallet, so 150. Statistically, there should be 2 or 3 builders in there, and maybe one gets excited enough to start building. It's like every 150 users, we get one new builder, and that goes exponential. So that's going to be very interesting to watch.
That sounds like maybe that's your most exciting thing that you're just like watching out for, is like how many new builders are coming, what's coming next.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of like people go public and they're like quietly in the background, they're like, yeah, I'm building something, you know? So like usually a bunch of people also go public for a good reason, because they're like, you know, they want to plan it out, they want to build a reputation, show people that they're good people, and then build something in the future. That's kind of the roadmap I took. I did a bunch of streams, did a bunch of YouTubes, ran a mastermind, built connection with a bunch of people, and then once I had the reputation and trust, that's when I built and launched TITANX. It's a great roadmap to follow. It just makes sense. You make a name, build reputation, build trust, you have attention, and then you launch your thing.
Yeah, you've kind of set out a couple different roadmaps in terms of how to do this. And it seems like everyone's following it to a T for the most part. And, you know, I think the results speak for themselves.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even Volt. Steve is not a popular dude. He has like less than 1,000 followers on Twitter on his like personal account. And boom, one of the biggest builds on TITANX projects. I don't know it, you know? So it can go quick. as long as people follow the ethos, they get full support from the community. If they don't, well, then they just kind of like disappear in the background and get ignored. But if they follow the ethos, instant community support. Build reputation, build trust, create content, get known in the community, market a lot, have audits public, be transparent, do a fair launch, use TITANX's input token, pair with TITANX, burn a percentage of TITANX to feed the ecosystem, and then just build cool, innovative tokenomics.
Volt still isn't even done with its minting phase, and it still has a $1.5 million buy and burn balance with almost $300,000 in pressure just today alone. Not even done minting. Yeah. Volt has had a very good launch, like you said, considering, Steve doesn't have 10,000 followers. Pretty damn good launch.
Right.
What about the wheel? You keep trying to get him to talk about the wheel and he won't do it. Why don't you talk about the wheel? Tell us something.
I wish I could, man. I've been trying. I haven't DM'd him. Try and DM him.
I'm trying to squeeze every last bit of alpha out of you.
Yeah.
Someone stopped in a second ago and they're like, I just got in. Was there any alpha? Was there any alpha? Good.
I mean, knowing Steve, he'll probably send me the ideas so we can go back and forth and get feedback. Like, he's big on feedback. So at some point I'll know. But then I won't go public unless he tells me to. Got to keep the bro code.
Come on. The bro code. Come on. The bro code only lasts until there's a really hot chick. You know that.
That's when the bro code tested.
Let's go. Yeah, bro code lasts until the 10 shows up. And then we all know the bro code dies away when the 10 shows up. And we're all fighting for the 10. The 10 is Volt right now. Let's fucking go.
Nah, bros come before everything.
That's a very political way to say that. I like that. Bros come before everything. That's how the saying goes.
Yes, exactly. The 10 disappeared, but the bro's always going to be there, So bros come first.
Oh, that's amazing. There's a lot. You know what? I tell you what. Shady says he saw a Jake X Volt pairing. I feel like 6 months ago, everybody was ever talking was the Atropa pairings and that giant liquidity web. And now I'm like, Atropa Schmopa. Like, bro, what are we doing over here?
I mean, everything better.
Everything better. You got Element 280 doing its own liquidity webs between its protocols. Like, I don't have enough TITANX.
Me neither.
I'm going to need to buy $100 worth of TITANX today.
I mean, I bought off market a bunch of times as well. Like, it's not just, I don't have only TITANX from miners. We're talking about personal here, because like another thing when it comes to Genesis, like Genesis was designed to never hit the market and only play as a backstop to the build on TITANX. So TITANX has a backstop of Ethereum and the V1 buy and burn, and then a Genesis is a backstop for the build on TITANX ecosystems. So we have so many security systems built into this entire ecosystem. Yeah, I can't go too in depth, but
Come, stop teasing us. Come on, go a little bit more. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit of the dong.
Just the tip, just for a second, just see how it feels. All right. Hey, this is definitely now. I'm totally derailing this this live stream now. I think we probably hit our point here. I know you got a lot to do. I don't want to take up your whole day. We've been doing this for an hour and a half now. You want to touch on anything else before we go and get a bunch of dong comments in the chat?
Nah, I think we talked about pretty much everything.
How about this? Is there anything that isn't here yet that you would like to see? And
borrowing, lending, and farms.
Talked about yet.
That's it.
Say that again. I talked over you.
Borrowing and lending and farms. That's it. Okay. And then it's just playing. And then when we go Omni-chain, we'll see a lot more interesting stuff as well. But right now, he's playing DEX, maybe.
Go ahead. A DEX? When we have 35 protocols?
Yeah, but it needs good tokenomics, like heavy buy and burn on TITANX. Yeah.
Yeah, because that doesn't exist. You guys have
there's a lot I can say.
Yeah, no, I got you. I'm trying. I'm doing my best. I tell you what, though, this ecosystem has done more work on the buy and burn and the concept of a buy and burn than anywhere else in crypto that I've seen. And it's absolutely amazing to see the innovation that's happening here with it.
Oh, 100%. Because buy and burn is pretty much the most hardcore crypto tokenomic you can get. Like that, because I had so many ideas I ran through. I had the dev code up for TITANX, and we always ended up coming back to the buy and burn. It's the best tokenomic by far. And nothing even comes close to a buy and burn. Like we even had some like very special LP code that would readjust LP position, so it would take some of the Ethereum, put it in a single side LP position below price, and then it would follow and track price. So it would build price floors over time. Buy and burn is better. We ran a bunch of simulations on it. Buy and burn is better.
No shit.
Yeah, buy and burn is it sounds good in theory, but then the actual implementation is full of vulnerability risk, full of security risks, a bunch of gas fee issues because it's LP management.
Right.
And a buy and burn is better because you create the same price floor with a buy and burn as you do with like that fancy LP thing. Because a buy and burn is essentially a whale that buys price levels and never sells. So what happens when a whale buys price levels and never sells? That becomes the price floor. It's the same. It's just better and more direct. And it doesn't create dead money.
How much time did it take you to kind of fully wrap around that concept and form it? Was it like did you have it right away, or was it kind of like a sounding board where you kind of worked on it over a whole year? What was it like?
The full build of TITANX took close to 6 months. Like it was 6 months of just going back and forth, building things, scrapping it, building things, scrapping it, breaking it down, going back to bare basics, rebuilding it. Like TITANX took a long time to get right. And also the marketing angles. The marketing angles of TITANX took a long time to nail in. And like build on TITANX, that was one that really hit. So like the builder incentives, bringing it into the DNA, installing it into community, talking about it 24/7. Yeah, nothing in TITANX basically happened by accident. The thing that happened by accident was the amount of builders and the amount of support. That's just pure grassroots people picking it up and like, fuck, I love this thing. That's something you can't code in. Like community is just kind of like a touch of God, basically.
Is that what you're probably most proud about?
Oh, fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The community is the hardest thing to get, man. Like, you can't buy it. You can't fake it. If you fake it, it disappears after a day. If you buy paid promotions, people don't stick around. They're gone after 24 hours. Like, community just needs to hit. And it's very rare that it hits just the right spot, And you get this grassroots movement and community around something. That's just pure luck right there, Yeah.
I think you hit it also with having a community that when you did have the slow times and maybe the down times, that they banded together, like we're all, the ship went down, we're all in the water, but we're all clinging together, forming one big life raft. And yeah, I mean, most people, when the ship goes down, they're fucking swimming for their lives, shoving people under, taking their life raft, and for the most part, this community just stuck together, and that was wild to see.
I think you get that when the principles and the values are nailed in, because you're like, TITANX is bigger than just tokenomics and builders. Like when you look at TITANX from a macro point of view, it's basically just a rebellion against the market of corruption and VCs and shadow figures and value extraction and people getting hurt and just dumped on 24/7. Like TITANX is basically the fair crypto rebellion. It's like once you have like a solid ethos and a reason to exist, that's when you get communities that just don't give up. It's because of like how it got formed. Like TITANX is strong enough to bring fair crypto back and get the suits out. Just bring it back to the people. We have this saying now: for the people, by the people, with the people. That's TITANX. I'm building on TITANX.
Love it. That's perfect, man. That's a good way to send this out. By the people. Yep. Say that again.
By the people, for the people. You just screwed it up. So, by the people, for the people, with the people.
That's it. All right, guys, I love you. I hope you had a great stream. I hope you jotted down a lot of notes because there's a fuck ton of alpha in this one. You may have to review it a couple times. Jake, thank you so much for coming on, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah, this was great. Appreciate it.
All right, man. I can't wait for farms. Can't wait for X28, even though that's going to be a little bit longer. Going to make me keep waiting, but whatever. All right. When Dong X and when Moon Dev when? I think that's it. All right, guys. Peace out. Love you all. Have a great day.
Yep.
Peace.